sword of omens. Give me sight beyond sight.
Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Sewer and the Kodan Armada. Get ready. Prepare for blast off.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Remember, no matter where you go, there you are.
This is 80's Reboot Overdrive podcast.
Oh my god. That is like so dated.
Hello, this is Dave from 80's Reboot Overdrive. I have a quick little podcast that I want to throw out there. I had the awesome opportunity to talk to Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Men at C2E2 in Chicago. I want to quickly set this up, let you know that we only talked for about 7.5 minutes. So what I've done is I've added some audio clips of some retro commercials, retro public service announcements, some of the things that Ming and I talked about briefly. So the episode's going to be roughly about just under 15 minutes. Going to take a quick moment to just give you a little introduction to our 80's Reboot Overdrive channel. We currently have a ongoing series on the TV show The Americans, and that show is called Comrades. We also have a ongoing series on 80's music. Right now, the team that is covering that is talking through their favorite albums in the 80s, which were heavy metal and hard rock. That show is called 80's Mixtape Auto Reverse. We also have a show where we're covering the retro TV show The Incredible Hulk. That's called GammaCast. And also, we have a regular 80's Reboot Overdrive show where lately we've been talking through 80's icons. We've talked through Harrison Ford, Harold Ramis, Chevy Chase, Diane Lane, Leia Thompson. We've also got the Lost episode in the can, still waiting to get released one day. How you can help us get that out there is by giving us a rating review on iTunes. But for now, if there's any input that you want to give us, please feel free to shoot us an email at 80sreboot@gmail.com. The music that you're currently listening to is a song called Back to the Future Meets Metal by a recent guest of ours on 80's Mixtape Auto Reverse, Eric Calderone. Highly recommend that you check out his YouTube channel at 331eRock. Without further delay, I want to thank you for reliving the 80s, and here is the conversation that I had with Ming Chen.
So I'm on the floor, C2E2. I'm here with the infamous, can I say that? Ming Chen from Comic Book Men. We talked briefly before about the Activision badges.
Oh my god, those Activision patches, right. I didn't study, I didn't do my homework, grades, not that great. But what I did put all my energy into was acquiring those Activision patches.
Right.
I wanted a jacket covered with them. I didn't get all of them because then you had to buy all the games, but the ones I did get, I still, wherever they are, I know they're in my mom's house somewhere, I still treasure.
So, I mean, kids nowadays, they just don't have it like we had it, right?
No,
I
like,
mean, because
when you play PlayStation or Xbox, it's like, oh, achievement unlocked,
right.
you did this, you blew up the Death Star, whatever. You don't get anything for it. It's all virtual. It comes to you immediately. I'm sure some of you may not had an Atari. This is how it worked. You bought a game, an Activision game, and if you achieved a certain high score, you had a chance to be in like the high score club. And what you had to do was achieve the score, take a photo of your TV screen with a film camera, develop the film, hope that the picture came out okay, with the score displayed, and mail it in to some P.O. box somewhere. 6 to 8 weeks later, you will receive a patch back.
Lucky.
Yeah, you will receive a patch back, and that's how you got it. That was a thrill of my life back then when I was 6, 7, 8 years old for sure.
Yeah, for me, I had the Pitfall one.
Yeah,
but I know you mentioned you had a couple of them. You had like River Raid, I think you said.
Sequest was my first one. I got River Raid. Like all the David Crane games, I tried to get all the patches for that.
Good call.
Yeah,
Good call. All right.
I miss it.
Yeah, me too.
I miss it.
Now, you also mentioned earlier that you kind of fell in love when the Atari 2600 was out. You were kind of hugging it.
I did. So when it first came out, I wanted it. Like video games consumed me from at that age, right? 5, 6 years old. You're like, oh my god, I don't have to go to the arcade and spend quarters anymore. I can play on my TV. And the games were mind-blowing.
Right. Even the graphics weren't that
even
awesome.
Adventure. Where your little freaking dot. It fascinated me. Parents wanted me to do well in school. No, listen, we're not buying you this. You're going to get bad grades. You're not going to study. You're just going to be playing this thing all day. It's a distraction. We're not getting it for you. But for a year and a half, I just badgered them. I want this. Finally, they broke down and got me one. And yeah, I remember being at Sears. The box comes down, like we're carrying home. I'm literally hugging the box, like for dear life. And
nice.
One of the best days of my life for sure. Getting
awesome.
that Atari 2600.
All right. So what about like 80's cartoons? Did you have any of your faves?
Oh yeah. There was a Pac-Man cartoon. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
I remember that. Yeah.
Where Pac-Man he was married to Miss Pac-Man. Yeah, there was baby Pac-Man was in the family.
Right.
The ghost would bother him.
Right.
Stuff like that. There was a Mr. T cartoon. I was obsessed with the A-Team. Mr. T, very weird premise. He was the head of...
gymnasts.
He was like the father figure of a group of gymnasts.
Right.
They traveled around in like Mr. T's van.
The dog with the mohawk.
There was a dog with a mohawk, and they would get into adventures and solve crimes. And at the end, there was always that he would come back in live action and teach the kids a lesson, like, don't get into strangers' cars. Check your Halloween candy. I know, stuff like that.
All the public service announcements.
Yeah, use deodorant. It was really weird.
Okay.
Thundercats for sure. The G.I. Joe cartoon. I ran home from school to watch every day. I mean, jeez.
Visionaries. Did you ever watch those guys?
Not only did I watch Visionaries, I had the toys.
All right, we're like instant friends right now.
Mask. Oh my God, Mask. Yeah. I had the toys, watched the cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah, all that stuff, all those thinly veiled cartoons disguised as toy commercials, watched them all and had the toys.
Yeah, and Centurion's another good one that I liked.
Yeah, Centurions, Silverhawks.
Oh yeah, all those guys.
Yeah, people always ask me, well, what's the weirdest cartoon you've ever seen? Came from the 80's. The Rubik's Cube had a cartoon.
On one of our shows, I was blasting that one because I don't understand. Why would somebody take a cube game and make it into a cartoon?
Yeah, but they did, and the premise actually was just weird. It was about an alien cube that fell to Earth,
right?
And when you match all the colors, he would be alive, and he had eyes and jump around and make fun of kids.
Is that eating?
No, Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube, the cartoon.
And but when the colors got mixed up, he would be inanimate and dead. So the kids would be like, "Oh my God, he's messed up!" So they would have to make him right again. It was so weird.
E.T., you have to get out of the hole.
It was so weird. Yeah, but it was it's the 80's, man. I love them. them for sure.
What do we got here? No. All right. So, what about favorite 80's movies?
Oh God,
You're probably a big list, right?
1984, definitely a big year. We had Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, can't forget Buckaroo.
Karate Kid. I know I'm missing a ton.
Yeah,
those are definitely favorites that I watch this day that I make my kids watch, for sure.
Make your kids watch.
Yeah,
I love
1981, Empire Strikes Back. 1983, Return of the Jedi. 1987, Lost Boys.
Okay.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Kiefer.
Yeah.
80's Reboot Overdrive.
Yeah. Kiefer Sutherland, the two Coreys, Jamie Gertz, Jamie, probably a vision in curly hair and half vampire.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Such a great movie. 80s. There's a lot of great movies from '86.
A lot of our podcasters are in love with Phoebe Cates.
Oh yeah. Fast Times.
Yeah.
And Gremlins.
Oh yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop. God, so many.
There's so many to list. Yeah, we'd be here all day.
Yeah, I think Big Trouble in Little China came out in the 80s, I believe.
Trouble in Little China, yeah.
So many good movies.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Back to the Future. Holy crap! Back to the Future, 1985.
Yeah, the trilogy, right?
Yeah. Great era,
stuff.
great decade for movies. Perhaps the best.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah,
I would think so. All right, so is there anything you want to talk about real quick that you want to promote?
I'm a podcaster as well. I support podcasters, which is why I love doing this. I do a podcast called I Sell Comics with Mike Zapcic.
Who?
That's on Kevin Smith's Smodcast Network. Mike and I also just started our own podcast called The Ming and Mike Show. Find that on iTunes, Stitcher.
It's not the Mike and Ming Show?
It's the Ming and Mike Show. SoundCloud. You can just hear that everywhere. And I love podcasts. I support podcasts. And keep watching Comic Book Man.
Sweet. Awesome. If you ever get a chance to talk again, like longer, like via Skype or something, I'd love that.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We will, no doubt.
Awesome, dude.
No
Thank
doubt.
you, man.
Of course, thank you.
We'll return after these messages.
Neptune challenges you to Sequest by Activision. With the Atari 2600, behold, Sequest. Your submarine must help stranded divers escape hungry sharks. Foolish mortals. Check your air supply and beware. Evil pirates abound. I think I hear your tiny divers calling out to you. Help. Help. Sequest. Steve Cartwright does it again for Activision.
Catch the action. Catch the mystery. On my show, the best show, Mr. T. The name is Mr. T. First name is Mr. Middle name is that period. Last name is T. Listen and listen good. I'm talking to you. When a new kid moves in on your block, what's your attitude? Do you figure, what do we need him for? Well, I pity the fool that makes that mistake. You want to know why? Then watch what happened in San Francisco, where a new member joined our team and tried to help solve the mystery of the golden medallions.
We have no choice. He can't turn back. Raid target at 039 under control. Approaching near speed. Way to go.
Taking West Canyon.
Good call. Fuel critical, sir.
Choppers at 3 o'clock.
Roger, I copy. Time is closed. Is he like the
No, he'll decide that.
Fuel critical, sir. He knows that.
Sure, he's off for the East Canyon.
Negative. That's a trap.
River Raid to home sweet home. It's heading
River
for the
Raid,
area.
can you make it? River Raid, can you make it? Do you copy?
It's only a game. River Raid for the Atari Video Computer System, designed by Carol Shaw for Activision.
On a mysterious night, Ruby-Q appeared, bringing happiness. Ruby-Q has changed everything in our lives. He's colorful, magical, lovable. Ruby, he's our friend. Ruby, amazing Q.
Hello, my name is Rubik.
I'm Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats, reminding you that kids are not allowed to drink anything with alcohol in it.
And I'm here, telling you this, don't kid around with drinking. It's against the law.
Obey the code. Don't drink alcohol.
We hope you've enjoyed this show. This podcast is part of the 80's Reboot Overdrive channel on Southgate Media Group. You can follow us on Facebook on the 80's Reboot group page. We're also on Twitter and Tumblr at 80's Reboot. We invite you to check out all the wonderful podcasts and blogs available at southgatemediagroup.com. And thank you for reliving the 80s.